Hi everyone. Today I'm going to give a presentation about the female employment under the pandemic. So under the COVID. So firstly, let me give you an introduction about to this presentation. So in the last in the past year, global pandemic has had a severe impact on the labor market over the world or in the United States, and especially for the women, for the female. Compared with the men, women are already in a disadvantaged position in the labor market, and the pandemic will have a severe and greater impact on their employment or employment. And according to a United Nations report in April, women are more likely than men to worry about to feel anxious about about losing their jobs or losing their incomes or falling into the poverty. So according to this, what I want to explore today is problems or phenomena or the conditions of the female employment in the context of the global pandemic or COVID. And yeah, so nextly, yeah, based on some data and some information or some article I searched online and the library, I found some problems and some situations about that I think that was really important and really severe about the female employment. So the first thing is about the labor force participation. Okay, that's a really important part in the female employment. And according to let's look at this chart. Okay, let's look at this chart. So as you can see that the female labor participation in 2021 has dropped significantly in 1 year, and it almost reaches the lowest level in the past 2 decades. Okay, and at the same time, although the labor force participation rate of men has also fallen sharply, but it is still much higher than that of women, and the gap is greater than before the pandemic. So that sounds really bad. Okay. However, even though it is really hard and it is more difficult for women to enter the labor market and find jobs, but according to the United Nations report, among unemployed people, women are more willing to enter the labor market to find a job than men. So that's really interesting. So the second part, uh, the second part of the problem in female employment, I think, is the wage gap. Okay, that's a really important part. So, yeah, actually, in recent years, the gender wage gap has improved and a lot. Okay, honestly, but with the occurrence of the pandemic, this kind of improvement is just go away. Just yeah. So, and according to the Stephen Miller's research, the global pandemic has caused a widening of the wage gap between women and men in various industries. Okay, look at this chart. As you can see, in the registered nurses, financial managers, or even in the truck drivers. Okay, so there are some the representation. So this table just shows very real. Okay. And as you can see, especially in the high-end industries, the wage gap between men and women is even more pronounced. Okay. But yeah, here's an interesting phenomenon, or here's the also a situation. According to the pay scale statement in 2021, women make only about 28 cents for every dollar a man makes, which is 1 cent more than they made in 2020. Okay, but please don't think that the gender wage gap is improving according to this, because in fact the reason for this result is that the women in low end industries and women of color face higher unemployment rates, and their turnover has caused a decrease in number of low income women. So the median income of the women has risen. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the women in all the industry get high payment. Okay, so there is also bad news that when these low-end industrial women and women of color return to the labor market after the pandemic, according to the pay scales, like they may face varying degrees of wage penalties, okay, which will further expand the gender wage gap in the future. Okay. So So, what are the reasons for the problems of female labor participation or the wage gap we explored before? That's, and in my opinion, the first reason is that the women are more likely to be forced or voluntarily to leave the workforce, okay, or the labor force, or the labor force. So, from the chart, you can see that, and this chart is from the McKinsey and Company. It was like most cases, women are more inclined to leave the labor force than men, and the proportion of women leaving the labor force is also higher than that of men. So this has resulted in a growing gap between the participation rate of women and men in the labor force. Okay. So, and the second reason I think is that the women have more responsibilities to take care of the family, and the spread of virus has caused many family health problems, and women have to spend more time to take care of their families, their kids, and to handle some like family things. So, and unfortunately, while even though the remote working has matured enough, it is still not friendly enough for the women who want to work at home. Like according to the Lauren Weber, administrators at Florida State University demanded that employees no longer care for children while working remotely. And not only this, she notes that a legal aid center has seen a 20 and 50% increase in the course last year about the job discrimination related to caring for families. So these experiences have forced many women to choose to leave their labor force or choose low income occupations with low skills requirements, so they will have more time to take care of their family. Okay. Okay. And the last reason I think, and maybe the most important one, almost the server one, is the discrimination. Okay, this hot topic. And according to the, I want to just remind you guys a story. According to the internal labor market theory we have learned before, just a week ago, organizations assign positions to different people according to the different skills requirements, and people with high requirements have more income and promotion opportunities. And the pandemic requires companies to reduce the cost, so they want more skill they want to they begin to seek more skilled and capable employees to reduce the number of employees. And at this situation, women are often discriminated against in such environment. Okay, and wrongly they were wrongly considered to be less skilled or have less labor force than men. So maybe some managers, they will wrongly assign this woman to some low income position or to some low skilled position. Okay. So some women will kind to leave the labor force because they can't even make any money or make just to raise themselves in this low income position. And yeah. So uh yeah, we just talk about the some just just talk about two problems. I think that's really important in of the female employment, and I just give you guys three reasons in my mind of this problem. So yeah, the global pandemic. Obviously, the global pandemic should have made the entire society aware that the gender equality in the labor force still has a long way to go. Okay, and what just at least we are not doing what we are doing now is not good. Okay, it's not good enough. So women still face the realities of low labor participation, uh, employment uh, uh, difficulties, wage gap, and such things. And behind these phenomena and problems, uh, there are helpless, there are some like helpless situations such as discrimination, family care, uh, family care, and the low-end jobs. Okay, women didn't have many choices, and the impact of the global pandemic on the labor market will continue for a long time. Okay, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, I don't know. But how to ensure that people who return to the labor market can get a fair job without experiencing like wage penalties are issues that the whole society must continue to pay attention to. And finally, I hope that the labor market will continue to be improved, and in the future, maybe in the next few years, and eventually eliminated the unfairness caused by non-labor factors such as gender or race or something else. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, you can post them in the discussion. Okay, thank you. And here the resources I used in my presentation. And here's the works cited page.